Hi, my name is Mike Anderson. I'm Vice President Communication at the Center for Sales Strategy. I'd like to give you a quick tour of some of the components we use during a typical Elm Street Economics workshop. First thing in the morning, when participants have finished mingling and are heading toward their seats, we jump from the sponsor logo page, like the one you see here, to a menu page that helps us manage and navigate the balance of the event. We set the stage using expert commentary with video footage from people like Carl Steitman from Deloitte Research, former Walmart CEO Lee Scott, and others. After our host organization has delivered some opening remarks, we launch some man-on-the-street interviews using video, helping workshop participants reflect on how the economy is affecting everyday people, the kind of folks who might live on an Elm Street in your town. To finish off this launch sequence, we challenge everyone in the room to think about how their own behavior has changed recently, not just as a business owner or manager, but as a consumer. What are you doing differently? What have you cut back on? What are you still buying? And then, what changes have you observed in the attitudes and behaviors of the customers you see walking through your doors every day? Participants capture these notes on carbonless copy paper, for reasons we'll explain near the end of this video. Next comes the first formal presentation segment, the consumer's view of the road ahead. This segment briefly touches on how we got here and reflects on ways the consumer has changed in response to the current climate. The lessons consumers have learned, if you will, and how they're adapting to a changing financial landscape. For example, how their feelings change with regard to their use of credit, the job market, their investments, and more. We close this segment by asking attendees to think critically about a variety of sample marketing campaigns. They use these signal cards to tell us whether they think a campaign connects with consumers or not. And finally, we invite them to scrutinize how their own current marketing efforts connect with consumers or not, given the current context of everything that's going on. This creates one of many aha moments for almost everyone in the room, and we again invite participants to capture their epiphanies on a carbonless copy notes page. After a short break, we jump into the second presentation segment, titled The Return of the Value Proposition. People have really embraced this segment for two reasons. First, we review the changing consumer priorities that were discussed earlier in the day, but now offer some logical adjustments that could be made to almost any marketing plan in response to those shifting attitudes. Second, we spend some time brainstorming actionable ideas and thought starters to help almost any marketer develop a plan that is relevant and meaningful. And we point out that, of course, relevance begins with knowing precisely who your target consumer is and why those people buy. Everything we've done throughout the morning leads up to the closing segment, which is where we introduce participants to, or refresh their memory of, the marketing strategy model. As part of that segment, we say a few words about the tools your company can offer a marketer, and present them with some new tools for consumer trend watching, including a blog known as elmstreettrends.com. Early on, and throughout the day, we've reminded people that nobody would be selling any advertising packages at this event. As the event is wrapping up, we remind participants that your company is more than an advertising vendor. It is a partner, a solutions provider, and that they should see your sponsorship of this event as further evidence of that fact. Then, we invite each attendee to pull out the 3 sets of notes they've captured on carbonless copy paper and tear them apart. We encourage them to take the white copy back to their office and use these notes to help turn their thoughts and ideas into actions. Now, what do they do with the yellow copy? Well, that's where we do our best to help you establish or expand your position as a true solutions provider. Here's how we position our use of these notes to your clients and prospects in the room. For your company to be a true partner in business, it has to look at the world through the eyes of each client, each company you serve. So, while attendees are under no obligation whatsoever, we invite participants to hand the yellow copy of their notes to the host company executive seated at their table. Those notes will either find their way to the appropriate account manager if one's assigned, or be turned over to your director of results or other manager. That way, we'll be able to see what kinds of things had your attention as you heard us discuss the economy and other matters this morning. It'll help us begin to understand what kind of challenges you're facing right now. It'll begin to tell us how to follow up, how we might be of service to you. You might be surprised just how many people are willing to share their thoughts, and you'll be even more impressed by the valid business reasons, the CNA questions, and the brainstorming components that can be found when you mine the notes your clients took that morning. Now, after a quick feedback process and event summary, we give you the last word. Each Elm Street Economics event ends with the host organization thanking attendees for their participation, thanking any co-sponsors you may have, and repeating your commitment to follow up with each person who wants you to. Of course, you can share a few words about the credentials and capabilities of your organization, further branding this event as your own. This has been a very abbreviated overview of the Elm Street Economics in-market event. If you have any questions, or if you'd like to see any of the notes pages or other tools we use during the event, just talk to your CSS consultant, or drop me an email, mikeanderson@csscenter.com. Thank you.